Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. I'm Crash Rowsell, and it's once again time to crash Skylanders with another Top 5 video. Last week we talked about Trap Team, and today we're talking about the best game in the whole franchise. Fight me on that one, I promise you, you'll lose. Superchargers introduced racing into the game, and in my opinion, they gave us 2 games in one. It's fantastic. I could literally do a video of me sitting here and talking about how great Superchargers is. If you want to see that, let me know. I'm more than welcome to rant about how great that game is. But today, we're going to talk about the levels, as we've been doing for the last few weeks, and also next week. Spoilers. Really cool thing about Trap Team was that the levels introduced a lot of new elements to it. A lot of new places that you don't really need to explore and all that. Superchargers also did that. The really cool thing about Superchargers, though, is that it gave us side quests in the levels itself, and it also gave us level jump. Which my favorite thing is you can actually go to a certain part of the level. Like, for example, the gadfly glades. I like actually going to the middle part where you got to, where you get to the water, what's it called? No, the sea quest that you got, sea challenge. I forgot the name of it. Which that one. But that's one of the things I really like, is that there's a jump into it. Today we're going to talk about the best levels. As I mentioned, you already know my favorite, because if you look at my Crash's favorite videos from Crashmas last year, you know what my favorite one is. But let's talk about some other ones too. So today, we're going to talk about the top 5 best Superchargers levels. So with my list, they're always my personal opinion, meaning you are going to have stuff on here that you're not going to agree with. Just straight up honesty. You're going to look at it and be like, man, I don't agree with your list, and I think you're stupid, and your beard's dumb. And I'm just like, well, that's mean. And that's when I'm allowed to be mean back to you. Because as long as you respect my opinion, I'm going to respect yours. I think that, I did it backwards, your opinion, yeah, you know what I mean. Regardless, we like to be respectful here on the channel, and I always like seeing your opinion. So in the comments below, let me know your favorite Supercharger levels and why you think Superchargers is the best game. Nothing else. Let's get into number 5 right now and talk about the best levels in the best game in the franchise. Don't at me, at Crash Rowsell on Twitter. Starting at number 5 is one of the most unique looking levels in the entire game. It's the Spellpunk Library. The first time I played this, I absolutely loved the side-scrolling, shell-shaded graphics that came out of it. I loved actually playing this level the second time, and because the first time I played it, I didn't do any of the sea or sky challenges. So I went back and played them again, and seeing those, they were so much fun. I especially love like the top-down thing with like the, what is it, Galactica type game. Was it Galactica? No, Space Invaders where they're around. Galactica is where you can move around yourself. So yeah, Galaga, not Galactica, Galaga. I'm not that old. So I really love the fact that it turned into a cell shade. Like, you read the book and you get sucked into the book and you become the character in this book. You got to continue on, jump across. It's a really cool platformer built into it. The level itself is really fun too, because there's a lot of exploration involved with it. It's one of those levels that you have to play 2 or 3 times because it changes it up. You go around, you push a bookshelf out of the way. Oh, there's a supercharged spinner. So you spin that, perfect. Next time you play, it's a chest. Next time you play, it's the soul gem. And I really like that. Well, it's not really a soul gem. You know what I mean, though. What I really like about that is that it's one of those levels that you can go back to and you kind of want to play, because of the fact that the story involved with it, with the shell shading, is so much fun. The final battle with the darkness is a little bit weird. It's easy to do if you're using Hot Streak, just to be completely honest, because you just got to shoot that one beam and it follows him no matter where you go. Like, if you're going up and down, it's just following him. You're just like up here and it's going down here. It's really simple. It was the opposite way on you guys. You know what I mean, though. But yes, I absolutely love that fact. I love the cool graphics in that level, especially that one, and the fact that it's one of those levels that it changes every single time, which is what I mentioned in one of my past videos. I think it was Spyro's Adventure? Yeah, which Imaginators we might talk about again, but we'll see. Well, not this Imaginators, but future video. Ladies and gentlemen, number 5 is the Spellpunk Library, and it's really, really cool graphics. Number 4 on the list is the Cloud Kingdom. One thing I really like about the Cloud Kingdom is the fact that it kind of hides the level for you. So you're exploring through, you're walking through, you see these clouds, you're like, oh man, I can't really do it. Once you get closer, you stumble upon enemies. Or you stumble upon a chest. Or you go up and you see a chest up road, like, how in the world do I get to that? And then you gotta go backwards and go up around, all trying to find your way. The enemies in this level itself, I find, are really fun too. I love the big air-breathing guys. You know, they suck in the air and you destroy them. They shoot off in the air like a balloon, and then they hit the ground and can still hurt you. So you like gotta hit them in the air, be like, oh, I gotta run away. One thing I really like about that. The final battle with Lord Stratosphere, which I really like that name. It's a pun, Stratosphere, like F-E-A-R, not P-H-E-R-E. That's how you spell stratosphere, by the way. I absolutely love that battle just because it's very straightforward. He just shows up, you attack him a bunch of times, he throws away and tries to hit you, just like a good villain would do. And eventually you just gotta wait till he comes back to you. When you beat him, I love when he smacks his face off the ground. It's so satisfying when he just hits his face and just goes, and his face just goes everywhere. The exploration of this level is very fun too. I love the little mini puzzles involved where you gotta spin the lasers around to open up the doors. And the side quests are very fun too with that one. This level is definitely one of those levels that when it came up early in the game, I was very satisfied with it because it came right after the dragon level. I forget, Dragon Spine I think is what it's called. I totally forget that one, it's not on my list sadly. Oh, I spoiled it. But I love that because that led into that level and it kept the game going. Like it didn't slow down when it got into the early stages of the game. And I feel like most of the Skylanders games it kind of slows down at the beginning, which then it picks up. Which this one it didn't. Superchargers kept it going the whole time. So yes, Cloud Kingdom is that one for one of those reasons and definitely one of my favorite levels in the franchise. Number 3 is Babbo Islands. I love Babbo Island. I love doing it as a side quest when Tessa opens it up for you, and I love doing it just in general because you start off right away, there's a couple explorations you can do. You can go to the right and you can go to the left. There's 2 different ways you can go. You go to the right, it leads you up top, you get a couple things, you talk to a couple people, and you can do a Skystone battle if I'm not mistaken. Then if you go to the left, you talk to the chef, or whatever, I guess he's a chef, he's a potion maker, whatever you want to call him. He gives you a special potion to wake up the guy downstairs, but you can also buy buffs for yourself. So if you're already kind of low in the game and you don't really want to lose a Skylander, you can easily buy a HP buff, an XP buff, and it changes every time. That's what I really like, is every time you go and play this level, you can always go back and there's always a new buff. Sometimes there's a coin buff. So if you're looking to get more coins, just go to Babbo Island, grab the coin buff, use the piggy bank if you have it, and there you go, you're getting a lot of coins. The cool thing about the actual story level in this one, though, is you take on 3 different waves of enemies. You take on the 2, I forget their names, unfortunately. Hammer and Smash, is that what it is? Something like that. You know what I mean, though. Those the 2 metal guys, and they're playing like the heavy rock music, and you gotta avoid them and destroy them. Then you take on Dreadbeard, I think that's his name. I don't know any of the characters. I know the Spell Slammer is there, though. And that's the best one. Because you fight him and he's like, you know what? I can't beat you in your world, you gotta beat me in mine. And then he sucks you in, and you end up in this random snowy level. And you gotta get over and fight him in the snowy level, defeating all of his little life spell punks. There is life spell punks. All of his little spell punks before you actually fight him. And when you beat him, that amount of XP is sickening. Spell Slammer gives you so much experience. I remember for the first time I played it, I remember playing as Lava Lance Eruptor. And he leveled up 5 times when I beat him. He was at level like 3 or 4, and he got all the way up to like 7 and 8. just ending that battle alone. So I thought it was really cool. This level is wicked fun to come back to, especially if you're doing it as a bonus mission with Tessa. You know, you can go back and do dailies on the game. That's one thing I really like, is you can go back and actually do this one as a separate thing, and you can still get your buffs and stuff too. So Babbo Island is number 3 on the list, especially for that reason. Number 2, decided to sprinkle something new into the game yet again. Something really cool about Skylanders is they were always introducing something new and unique to the franchise. I mean, this game literally gave us vehicles, which was very cool. I don't care what anyone says. People said it watered the game down and lacked the story. Superchargers has the best story. But yes, one of the things I love about the Monstrous Isles is the fact that you grow giants and you face giants. Not these giants. No, actual giants. You start out by getting that you go to Captain Cluck's, which we'll talk about that in a future video maybe. You go there, you collect the giant kernel, you become supersized, and then you face off against the giants. I love the fact that there's 2 different ways to face off against the first one, the big one with the tentacles. I forget their names, unfortunately. I love that one because of the fact that you can do different ways. You can just go straight into the battle, or you can do the water and go all the way down and explore a little bit and do that to get to that one. The battles with both of them are great too. I really love the second battle, especially with the big brawler lobster guy. His battle is really fun because you're in a giant city, and it's just like you're taking on like Godzilla. You know, you're the fighting force of Godzilla. Recently just played Luigi's Mansion, me and my girlfriend, and there was a big movie scene battle where Luigi and Gooigi, if you're playing the same, take on the ghost as the monster, and that was fantastic. I loved playing that one. So looking back at that and just loving the big style monster movies where it's just like, just this little fake town and you're just stomping around and you're just like this big dude destroying everything, it's fantastic. The level itself is so much fun because of the fact you're giant and you get to destroy everything. It's what everybody wants in a game. Just to be able to destroy the entire world. I don't know about you, but that's one thing I like. Sandbox games where you can destroy stuff. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I like Luigi Mansion 3, actually. But yeah, number 2 on the list is the Monstrous Isles because of how great that level is. And number 1 is probably obvious now if you think about it. But actually, it's kind of ironic if you think about it. So number 1 on the list, I just talked about getting big. And this one you're going to get small. Because number 1 is the gadfly Glades. I always call it Gladfly. It's gadfly Glades. I love this level because I mentioned back in the Oracle video, I love when they break the 4th wall and they talk about a Skylander. This one here, they show you the Skylander. So I know there's other Skylander games where the Skylander's just standing there. But yeah, I love that she talks about collecting Skylanders. And she opens the book, she's like, are you? I bet she starts listing that and she goes, an elite? And I'm just like, you just broke the 4th wall there. I'm like, how many Skylanders are there? But you talk about all the different variants and stuff. I think she mentioned Legendary at 1.2. So what I love about that though is she's like, is that a real life Skylander? And then it goes dark for a second, then it comes back and Flynn and Callie are there and your Skylander's just standing behind him, no matter who it is. I love that so much. It's one of my favorite things about that is just that opening scene. The level itself is fantastic too. She shrinks you down, you become a contestant like 200 something, no, 600 something I think is what it is. Or it's a lot. It's very far into it. You become like the contestant to try to beat the level. And no one else can do it besides for you right now. The level itself is fantastic. There's a lot of driving aspects to it, which is great. I love the fact that it gives you a big emphasis on the driving on this one because it really shows how well the driving is. One of my favorite things is when those giant beetles come out and you're trying to defeat them, like how do you defeat them? And then her foot comes stomping down and destroys them. You're like, oh, so you have to trick her to kill her own enemies. And that's one thing I really like about that is that you can just use something simple. You can destroy them, yes, but it takes a very long time, so why not get her to destroy them for you? Another cool thing about it, I love the part where you go and you see the giant rabbit, you knock down the thing, he goes by and he just burps on you. I think he like Monster Wars, but he's just technically burping. This level is very pretty. It's a very pretty level from, especially, my favorite thing is that it's only from where you were standing to where that thing is. And it's just grass everywhere. And there's little flowers and things like that. It's just simple little things that you would never think. Like, I look at my garden and I'm just like, man, that could be a level right there to there. All I gotta do is shrink myself down, which I can't do that, unfortunately. But yes, one of my favorite things about it is that they released something really cool like that. They made you giant, and then only a couple levels later, or no, levels before it actually. A couple levels before it, they made you tiny, and a couple levels after that, they made you big. So that's pretty interesting that they did those two things kind of back to back. But yes, the Gadfly Glades is definitely my favorite level in Superchargers, and Superchargers is my favorite game. I don't know if I mentioned that in the franchise, that is. But yes, that is my number 1 on my list. So there we go, my top 5 favorite, or top 5 best Superchargers levels. I keep saying favorite, but best and favorite I guess kind of mean the same thing. Well, it all depends on you, really. You are more than welcome to leave your opinions in the comments down below. Let me know your favorite Superchargers level, and let me know your least favorite level. Let me know why Superchargers is your favorite game. Because we all know it is. Don't say Swap Force. It's great, but it's not as good as Superchargers. Come on now. Next week, we're going to Imagineers. This is the last video in this little thing. I did forget to mention the Swap Force, but I'll keep remembering it now. If you like this new kind of setup, where I'm just, talking to you guys and the video comes up in the corner, let me know if you guys enjoy that. This could be something I can continue on. It could just be a one-time thing. Well, 6-time thing. Casually. Well, technically a 7-time thing, because I did my top 5s video. But yeah, if you haven't, go back and play Superchargers, look at the story, and be like, how did I not see that this is a fantastic story? I mean, spoilers, Blumshank sacrifices himself for you. And that always hits my heartstrings. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this video. Next week is Imagineers. Come back to see who, or what, sorry, is on my top 5 of that one. Again, just go watch Crash This Video, you'll see what number 1 is. But don't spoil it. But as always, I bid you farewell.